My name is Bai Lu and I am a student who went to college on poverty assistance. When summer vacation came, in order to earn tuition for the next semester, I listened to my roommate and applied for a job online as a nanny for a rich man. The requirements of this job were very simple: no need to clean or take care of children, just call the employer's boss and serve him tea and water. I was a bit puzzled in my mind. Are all the nannies in the city so easy? This money is too good. The other party called and asked me to go for an interview today. I followed the location above and came to this villa area. I rang the doorbell, and soon the door opened from inside, revealing a young handsome face. He was wearing a shirt and suit pants and a pair of gold-rimmed glasses, like a professor inside our university, gentle and elegant. "Hello, I'm Bai Lu, I'm here to apply for a job as a nanny." His eyes sized me up and turned towards the inside. "Come in." I followed him inside, unable to stop my eyes from glancing around, walking carefully. This place was so luxuriously decorated, if I accidentally touched something, I couldn't even afford to lose it if I was sold. He walked over to the couch and sat down, pointing to the bag sitting on the coffee table. "Try changing your clothes on." I couldn't help but stare. Do I still need to change my clothes for a nanny interview? Seeing that I didn't make a move, a smile appeared on his knife-like face, and he patiently explained to me. "These are work clothes, you can put them on first and see." Hearing this, I didn't think any more and went to the bathroom on the side. Taking the clothes out of the bag, I realized that it was a short dress, with a black and white color scheme that looked particularly textured. There was also a small apron with lace, cute and adorable. I have to say, this employer has a pretty good eye. I took off the clothes on my body and changed into this short skirt. Looking at myself in the mirror, this skirt is just too short. Is it really appropriate to dress like this as a nanny? Back in the living room, the employer boss was still sitting on the sofa, looking down at his cell phone. Hearing the sound of footsteps, the boss raised his head, his eyes glanced at me for a split second, and then withdrew his sight. "My name is Jiang Tao, you can just call me boss from now on. Start working now, $10,000 a month, you can't quit in the middle or you'll have to pay $50,000 for breach of contract, is that acceptable?" His voice was gentle and sounded like a spring breeze. $10,000. This is already enough for my tuition and living expenses. A month will pass quickly, and as long as I stick it out, I'll get $10,000. Moreover, this boss looked qualified at first glance and wouldn't make things difficult for me. I agreed without hesitation. He pointed to the contract on the coffee table in front of him. "Come over and sign the contract." I walked over and tried to squat down. It's just that this short skirt is just too short. I subconsciously looked at Jiang Tao there, but realized that he was staring at the contract, not paying the slightest attention to me. This made me feel ashamed inside. The boss is a decent man, he won't peek at me. I graciously squatted down, picked up a pen and signed. "Boss, the words are signed." I snapped my head up just in time to meet his line of sight that he couldn't retract in time. He wasn't going to be a clothes horse, was he? I stood up in a hurry. His eyes were still glued there. "This couch is due for a change." It was then that I saw that the couch behind me had a hole torn in it somewhere. Turns out I had just misunderstood him. It wasn't just the couch he was looking at. This made my whole person a little bit restless. Jiang Tao glanced at the contract, put it aside, and pointed to the tea table next to him. "Go make me a cup of tea." I had learned a little bit of tea-making skills in college, and when I applied for a job online before, I had written this item in as well. Hearing Jiang Tao's words, I walked towards the tea table. I took a few steps over, and when I was making the tea, I glanced out of the corner of my eye and found Jiang Tao looking down at his cell phone again. I was a little strange in my heart. Was I too nervous? Why do I always somehow have this feeling? Brewing the tea, I carried the teacup and came to Jiang Tao's side. Just when I wanted to put the cup on the coffee table in front of him, Jiang Tao stopped me. "This is not the way to toast tea to the boss." My eyes showed confusion. "Do you need to pay attention to posture when drinking a cup of tea?" I toasted a cup of tea according to his request, but the ambiguous atmosphere between us became stronger and stronger. A smile appeared at the corner of Jiang Tao's mouth as he took the cup of tea from my hand and rubbed the top of my head with his other hand. "You're very good, reward you for having dinner with me today, I also have a gift for you. A wave of shame washed over me, instantly. But I thought that I might be overthinking it. After all, toasting tea really should be a bit more polite that way. And the way he touched his head, he should have just thought of me as a small child. Only, an incident that happened soon afterward let me know that things were not that simple. Noon, to the meal time. Because of the ambiguous things that happened earlier, it made me subconsciously want to avoid Jiang Tao. Not daring to stand too close to him. Just now, I opened the refrigerator and found that there were no dishes inside. It was very empty. I'm going to leave to buy food. It was agreed that I wouldn't be responsible for this, but I wanted to find something else to do that wasn't always with Jiang Tao. Before I left, I wanted to change this piece of clothing. This dress was on me, and just now, Jiang Tao had already had enough ambiguity between him and me. If he can't control himself, then won't my door-to-door nanny become door-to-door being toyed with? Besides, I'm not comfortable wearing this dress, it reveals too much. I walked to Jiang Tao's front. Jiang Tao at this time is drinking. Just now I brewed coffee, drink tea and coffee. This Jiang Tao seems to need to always keep the energetic state. His eyes were still staring at me all the time. I blushed and said, "Boss, do you need me to go buy some food?" Jiang Tao seemed to have read my mind and shook his head. As I said, "You don't need to be in charge of this laundry and cooking, you only need to serve tea and serve me well. Lunch has been ordered for takeout." He set his phone down, then narrowed his eyes and hooked his hand, pointing at it to indicate I should take a look. I subconsciously walked over toward it. I realized that Jiang Tao had already ordered a lot of food. I was already very close to Jiang Tao. "It's a bit hot to drink coffee, look at how much this sweats." Jiang Tao finished and looked at me with a smile. "In this case, you go to the bathroom first and adjust the water temperature for me, I need to take a shower." Listening to Jiang Tao's words, I let out a hum. I was a little afraid to look at Jiang Tao now. "Then the gift, I'll give it to you early," Jiang Tao said in my ear. In fact, I was really quite looking forward to Jiang Tao's gift. The value of that gift of mine is at least $100,000, it's most suitable to show you in a while. Go, put the water on first, I want to take a bath. Jiang Tao pointed to the bathroom. In anticipation, I looked at Jiang Tao's eyes full of deep meaning, and walked towards the bathroom there. Accompanied by the warmth of the water misty, I put the water in the bathtub. The shower was also turned on by me to adjust the temperature. I also don't know what kind of gift Jiang Tao is giving me. Just then, with a snap, the bathroom door opened. In the next moment, I saw Jiang Tao in the doorway. In his hand, he was holding something that looked like it was glowing. I looked closely and was stunned. Gosh, that thing looked like a hairband, and it actually had some fine diamonds placed all over it. It even had some gold filigree edging. Just as I was thinking about what it was, Jiang Tao had already arrived in front of me. Seeing that thing in its entirety, my eyes widened and a strong disbelief flowed amongst my beautiful eyes. This thing. I realized that that thing still has a rope. If I'm not mistaken, it was a collar. The dog leash kind. While I was dazed, Jiang Tao took the shower down and aimed it at me. And Jiang Tao took advantage of the situation, and put the collar directly around my neck, then pushed it slightly harder, tightening it around me all at once. With a tug, he made me bend down with that force. The next moment, involuntarily, I was directly on the ground. "There you go, that's my gift to you, a collar worth $100,000. Ha ha ha. Jiang Tao, he actually gave me such a gift." Boom. Suddenly, the water pipe that was originally slowly flowing water, didn't know where it went wrong, but actually directly burst open. The water clattered and began to form the appearance of a waterfall inside the bathroom. Jiang Tao was also startled. A large amount of water washed over him completely, and the strength of the water flow was as if it was a water pistol. And I was also struck by the force of the water flow, and I directly crooked down. In the blink of an eye, this bathroom already seemed to be about to become an ocean. Jiang Tao's face was tinged with unwillingness, his brows furrowed, and he began to anxiously try to remove the collar hanging around my neck. But because this collar has the function of reversing the tightening of the hoop, now so hooped, he wanted to take it off too difficult. He looked a little anxious. How did this explode all of a sudden? It shouldn't be can't it be because of the homeowner? While fiddling with the collar, he subconsciously muttered to himself. Because of this water pipe, I didn't hear it too clearly. Only, from time to time, I heard Jiang Tao seem to be saying something about the homeowner through the sound of water. This villa is not Jiang Tao's. How can it involve the owner of the house? Because of the sound of the water, I guessed that I had misheard. At this time, Jiang Tao has lifted the collar off my neck. Jiang Tao hurriedly told me to get dressed. After he finished those words, I hurriedly stood up. Only, now those clothes of mine were somewhere else, so I quickly ran away. And he also stood up, and just after walking out, Jiang Tao went aside and hurriedly took out his cell phone to contact whoever was calling. I also returned to the room and hurriedly changed into my normal clothes. Clattering sound of water became louder and louder. After the water pipe burst, the water is really too fierce. Not long has rushed to the inside of the house. I had just finished changing my clothes and came out, when I realized that Jiang Tao had also put on a suit. Outside, there was a knock on the door. The property people came. These property owners came in and started repairing the place. Only, because a while had passed, there was too much damage in the house. After working around while the water pipes were clogged, it was already afternoon. Jiang Tao's face, which I paid attention to, had been showing a dark expression. The boards had all been soaked, and some of the appliances were now broken. Especially that high-class customized bucket toilet, all have been circuit destroyed. There was a staff member from the property who tallied up all these things that needed to be replaced and the price. It was only then that I realized that Jiang Tao, who originally looked as if he was very rich, even that one collar was encrusted with diamonds and definitely worth a lot of money, had a trace of heartache flash across his face when he heard the property report these things. The property owner handed over the repair report to Jiang Tao, who hid inside a room and made a phone call. The voice was very small. Before leaving, he also looked at me. Only then did he come out and spend this money as much as he wanted. However, the house inside is now temporarily cannot live people, have to need to repair. Jiang Tao looked at me, his face was a little unsightly. You accompany me out on a trip. We'll change the place to live. I looked at Jiang Tao's ugly face and thought that it should be a matter of spending money on decoration. Thinking about it again, if I were to replace all these things inside my house that need to be replaced again, and then spend the money, I'm afraid that I would have to be quite a pain in the ass. Jiang Tao has so much money, still like this, then just why get a collar but like that big money? Jiang Tao to take me out of here, my phone suddenly rang. Looking at Jiang Tao, I wanted to pick up the phone, but Jiang Tao said to me, "You can't tell anyone about this place, don't forget that you signed an agreement before, and the breach of contract is $50,000. So you have to go with me, or you'll wait to lose money." I was in a hurry. I lost my personal freedom to connect the phone here. But boss, this call is from my family. The cell phone I had taken out, and it showed exactly the phone call from my father. Jiang Tao frowned at this time, then spoke, "Then you answer it first. Anyway, I told you that you can't quit in the middle of the day, or else." He took the breach of contract again. As soon as I think of the previous time, Jiang Tao almost put me like that, and also used that collar to set on my body, and did as if it was a beast, and now, it looks like he is going to do it again. I am a little afraid. But the breach of contract. I made up my mind, even if this door-to-door nanny I still do, next time I have to protect myself, absolutely resist. What's more, if I cannot do it, I'd better leave as early as possible. I was going to find a reason so that I could leave. Just use my family. I thought about all this and picked up the phone, but I didn't realize that I didn't need to find a reason. The words inside were already making me hexed. "Lulu, come back soon, something happened at home." My father's words seemed very anxious. Something happened at home. I was anxious for a moment. "Dad, don't be anxious, what's going on?" "Your mom is sick, last night sent to the town hospital, now come to the city big hospital, you see you can come over. Just near your school. I don't know the various processes here, you come over and help me." Hearing these words, my heart is in turmoil. The sound of the phone is not external, but Jiang Tao undoubtedly heard it. Standing at the entrance of the villa, I looked at Jiang Tao with pleading, an anxious look on my face. I was no longer thinking in my mind about whether or not to hide away, but that I had to go to the hospital first. My mother is sick, can you let me go back first? Jiang Tao sank his face, but he nodded. Then you go back, but you have to promise to come back, don't forget about that breach of contract. This way, $10,000, I'll give you $5,000 first, your mother is sick and needs money. After saying these, Jiang Tao actually threw the cell phone to me directly transfer $5,000. I originally looked at Jiang Tao heartache that a villa, and then the water pipe burst open. He also said what the owner of the words, I also suspect that this owner and Jiang Tao has no relationship. But now for sure, Jiang Tao is definitely a rich man. Jiang Tao looked at me and narrowed his eyes, come back early. I'll look for you tomorrow. I nodded my head repeatedly. Even though it was certain that he was rich, so what, just his extreme fetish, I was afraid, I'd better hide if I could. I arrived at the hospital in a hurry and helped my father with his work. Mother was acutely ill, but it was really nothing more than appendicitis. No big deal. The operation will be fine. The cost of the surgery wasn't much, and with the reimbursement from the health insurance, the $5,000 I brought would be enough. But because I took so much money out, it caused the eyes of my father to change. Girl, how did you get all this money? What the hell is going on here? I stammered a bit, and finally with a twinkle in my eye, I said that I actually borrowed all this money from other people. Hearing this, my father sighed. Over the years, I had spent a lot of money on medicines because I also had a chronic illness. Father still had savings in his hand, and he handed over the $5,000 to me. Then it's better not to use your money, just use my money. Mother also nodded beside me. I thought about it and accepted it. When the time comes, I'll finally tell my father that I'd found a part-time job and return this money to him. While I was thinking like this in my mind, my roommate called me. This roommate is Lucien, that is, she said before the time where part-time work is the best, recommended that I look online to see if I can be a door-to-door nanny. What is the roommate to call me? I answered the phone, my roommate was in there laughing and asking me. How's it going, Shiro? Did that job work out? Since my parents were here in the hospital room, I walked to the door with the phone I borrowed. Hearing this loud voice of hers, I thought in my mind, fortunately I reached the door and my parents guessed that they didn't hear me, otherwise my lie would have been broken in a flash. I walked to the door of the hospital room and closed the door behind me, then I spoke to my roommate on the phone. No yet, I haven't applied for a job yet, but I found another part-time job. The facts that Jiang Tao did to me were just too much. I was afraid that if I said it, my roommate would ask after me, and then it would be bad. She was a big mouth. Hearing my words, Lucien froze. You didn't succeed. Then do you need me to help you? Before I introduced you to that job, I was. Being able to hear, the girlfriend on the other end of the phone should not believe me, because she paused, but then she became enthusiastic again. I shook my head, no, not for now. My parents are coming over. I gave Lucien a good talk about my mother's illness. As soon as she heard that her mother was sick, Lucien quickly opened her mouth and said, so Auntie came over. In this case, I'll collect some gifts and go directly to Auntie. Lucien opened her mouth to say that she had to come over. I was afraid of trouble, and she said no need to come over. Lucien said me a good pass, but also said I am not enough friends. In the end, Lucien opened, originally Auntie sick, do not want to talk to you, but Auntie appendicitis, no big deal, I'll talk to you. This is not just the summer vacation. Some of our classmates all stayed here, they want to get together, scheduled for tomorrow at noon, you also come. I'll pay for you. My roommate's words warmed my heart. But since I have money in hand now, I thanked my roommate while saying that I'll go tomorrow and I don't need my roommate to pay for it. In my opinion, an AA get-together shouldn't cost much. Hearing that I'm going, Lucien is very happy, yelling that she will definitely pay for my share of the money. After talking to Lucien on the phone, I was ready to spend some time with my parents in the hospital room. At that moment, Jiang Tao's phone call came again. I hurriedly got up again. Repeatedly avoiding my parents on the phone had made the two old men already suspicious. I smiled and explained, it's a summer part-time agency I contacted earlier, and it's because of this that I didn't go home. He called me. I took the phone to go outside. Agent, what are you doing out there with the phone? Speak directly here. Looking at me going outside, my dad looked at me with relief and said, or not, let my mom get some rest, I'll go out and get it. I said and walked to the ward door again, then closed the door. The phone was connected. Jiang Tao's voice came out. Before the villa water pipe burst, the money for destroying the house totaled 7,000. This is my own independent responsibility. So can you transfer this 7,000 to me, and counting the 5,000 I transferred to you earlier, the total is 12,000. Answering the phone, I was thinking about how to reject Jiang Tao, but I didn't expect Jiang Tao to open his mouth to mention the money, but also said to count this 5,000 and transfer him 12,000 directly. My eyes flooded with doubts. Some do not understand what Jiang Tao is saying. How before also bold and generous Jiang Tao, now all of a sudden and want me to get money. That villa destruction $7,000, to Jiang Tao such a person should not be 9 cows and a hare. What do you mean? That villa water pipe burst and I have nothing to do with it is their own burst, not I make. After returning to my senses I immediately said anxiously. 12,000 is not a small amount, this 5,000 to Jiang Tao also, even if I still have to return him 7,000, where do I get? Jiang Tao on the other end of the phone laughed. The villa's water pipe is my intention to burst, so now the villa inside those compensation, the customer and I said I have to take half the money, so this money will need $7,000. This way, you give me 3,005, things I help you solve, if not, you wait for tomorrow to make a fool of yourself. Jiang Tao said I had some cloudy feelings. From 7,000 to 3,005 all of a sudden, I still have to thank you. He pulled to what customers, and pulled to tomorrow to make a fool of. What does it mean? See, I have not said anything, Jiang Tao continued to say. In the thought I said in the end, what is the meaning of it? Tomorrow you will know, today you do not have to come over, you think about yourself, is to be this 3,005 or to your reputation. At the end, Jiang Tao directly hung up the phone. Hey. I called out for a while, and Jiang Tao didn't stop hanging up the phone. And it was only then that I remembered what Jiang Tao said at the very beginning when he approached me for money. He also said that the water pipe was burst by him on purpose. Is there something wrong with this man? Otherwise, why would you ask me for money for a burst pipe? Combined with the rest of Jiang Tao's words, my eyes suddenly widened, my heart vaguely had a bad feeling. 7,000 is a lot, but 3,005 I bite my teeth or can take out. But Jiang Tao's last threat to me ended with my reputation. Could it be that Jiang Tao was trying to do something with my reputation? Thinking about this, I was a little apprehensive. Back to the ward, the face is not good, parents asked me, I did not say anything. Waiting for the next day, I originally did not want to go to participate in the reunion, but could not help but Lu Qian is very enthusiastic, a strong let me go. I also thought and classmates have a good chat, relaxation, then at noon, straight to the hospital not far from a restaurant. I don't know who wants to find, this hotel row is quite big. When we arrived at the hotel on the first floor hall, Lu Qian waved to me. Looking at Lu Qian, I smiled and looked a little unnatural. Yesterday, Lu Qian's actions that warmed my heart still made me a little grateful to her. But when I think about it, it's because of her that I seem to be in a dead end right now. Jiang Tao threatened me and asked me for money. Not only did I not make any money, but I also had to lose a large amount. But this thing and Lu Qian should not matter. Just sat down, next to some familiar students and I chat. Waiting until the dishes are up, Lu Qian suddenly pointed to the big screen hanging on the restaurant. Lu Qian said to us with a smile at this time. There's a good program in here, I prepared it carefully, let's all take a look. I was a little stunned as I realized that Lu Qian was looking at me. Soon I looked up, and that's when I realized that what was playing right above the big screen was clearly the scene of me heading to the Jiangtu villa. It was me standing outside that villa. But how is this possible? My face turned white. Soon, I understood that everything was done by Lu Qian. It was Lu Qian who induced me to become a door-to-door nanny. She said that this part-time job was very lucrative, and now she had gotten her hands on this video. When I thought about what Jiang Tao said about the clients, I knew that Jiang Tao and Lu Qian were in cahoots. Finished. My head went blank. I felt that soon there would be people constantly laughing at me, and then word of my shameless behavior would spread so quickly that the schools would all drop me out, and my parents' disappointed faces would appear in my mind. While I was blushing, Lu Qian opened her mouth with a laugh. She was just about to speak when she realized that the video turned. The next moment, inside the video was the image of Jiang Tao dancing there. Along with the image playing on the big screen, Jiang Tao walked out from the entrance of the restaurant. Not me, Lu Qian, what's wrong with you, having a crush on me? You're not able to get me and others by Lu inside a video. You specialize in my video is not good. Jiang Tao changed his previous bossy appearance. He was playful and gangly. He looked at me with a smile. 3005. Others didn't know what this meant, only me. For a moment, I was in tears. And Jiang Tao came to my side at this time, and set me up, who was powerless. In Lu Qian's blanched face, the screen turned, and among the video was a recording. Lu Qian, why did you harm Bai Lu? Also want to let me to seduce Bai Lu, you know that people have good character. I just want to harm her, who let my boyfriend like her, other boys too, my family has money, she is a country girl, why should I be her green leaf? I'm going to make her lose her reputation, I want her to drop out. Accompanied by these words, my mind went blank as I was brought outside by Jiang Tao. Lu Qian is my client, she hired me, as a result, I can't bear to really let you lose your reputation, and burst that water pipe, which makes you pay out that 3005, you can't run that 3005 you can have to return me. See me still crying, Jiang Tao stretched out another hand, gently wiped the tears in my eyes. Once the video is out, I took revenge for you, this 3005 you still owe me. 2 and 2 together, can you be my girlfriend? Listening to Jiang Tao's confession, I stopped crying. Jiang Tao hugged me. I owe you a meal is true, I can't afford a luxury meal, so I'll treat you to a big stall. Being hugged by him, I suddenly felt as if my mood was better. After the storm, there is always a rainbow.